Agent Trogdor here, signing in with a movie review today. Today's movie review is on The Purge Anarchy. I have some pretty strong feelings about this movie, especially after seeing the film. This was proclaimed to be the summer's biggest horror film, and it was an improvement on the last film, but a letdown as far as film and cinema are concerned, in my opinion. I always go by the point of just because something's classic or something is better than the original doesn't make it good cinema or does not make it a good film. A lot of times movies age really poorly, and a lot of times sequels are not as good, or they may be an improvement. Like a good example would be the G.I. Joe film franchise. The first film was awful, but the second film wasn't really good. It was better than the first one. That's how The Purge is. So pretty much, here's the deal with The Purge Anarchy. They give us the setting we want. It's outside. It's in a cityscape, and that's pretty much it. You got the main character, who is Frank Grillo, who is on a mission to avenge his son, who was killed in a car accident. And pretty much from that point on, it's him protecting this group of people that he finds in the city. I'll talk about the positives real quick, because there's a lot less than my complaints with the film. This movie, Frank Grillo blows away anything that Ethan Hawke did in the original film. No matter how much I like Ethan Hawke, like in movies like Sinister and stuff, and also in Precinct 13 and the remake, he just gets outdone by Grillo. Grillo is more gruff. He's more of a kind of like a Punisher type character. He's doing what he's doing on The Purge Night for a reason, to purge. He's very interesting. He's a complex character, and his motives, and he's good at heart, but he's still dark and brooding. So he's to me, he was a vast improvement and a good character to bring into the franchise. Another improvement would be definitely in the diversity of those in The Purge. In the first film, we mainly saw what white upper-class citizens look like that are rich do when they purge, and it's looks pretty much like a country club with presidents' masks on. And to me, that wasn't very entertaining. In this one, we got to see a big diversity. We got to see not only the rich, but what looked like poor people, prisoners, just people, street urchins, and just regular average people just taking advantage of one night. So that's about it. Oh, well, there's one more thing. The cinematography in this movie was really good. There were some really cool shots of just scenery, people purging, stuff on fire. There's a really cool scene where you've seen in the preview where the bus is going down the street on fire behind their car. I thought it was just really cool in how they did that. So the cinematography on the movie is shot and how it looks. To me, it looks good, and I really like the direction. Now, they may have improved on those things from the first film, but here's where we start getting complaints, and this is where I'm going to try to keep everything as brief as possible. But so there's a couple big problems I had with the movie. One, we still kept the annoying child character. Frank Grillo's character comes across this woman and her daughter, and the daughter is just even more infuriating and aggravating than the kid from the first movie, mainly because she won't shut up. And part of her reason is that she's behind this whole conspiracy of fighting the purge and doing all this stuff like that. And she's just an asshole. And you don't want to me, in the world set up by the purge, it's a more horrifying world if there would be no resistance to it. The fact that they do have a resistance, and the fact that they're less likable than the purgers themselves, awful. There's no sympathy for them. I want all of them to die in the next one. I would love to see them just get obliterated. And the daughter is just aggravating as hell. So, yeah, there was that. And then, of course, they had a forced couple that was in the movie that was arguing about their marriage. Awful. Horrible. Whoever wrote the script and the dialogue for most of this movie needs to be brought on the street and shot, because awful. Just horrible. I can't overstate it enough. There's just wonky and dumb dialogue. There's literally a scene where the daughter, I know other reviewers have talked about this, where somebody breaks into their house and she literally yells out, "Don't come back here, we have guns." Horrible dialogue. That whole script should just, I don't know when they were shooting the movie if they thought it was a good idea or not, but it's Jason Blum, you can do so much better than whatever that was. So, just couldn't. It was just horrible. Secondly, I want to talk about the stereotypes in this movie. To me, The Purge. We had about two pretty big stereotypes represented in this movie. That it's an insinuation of that the rich encourage the purge to kill the poor, and a lot of the people besides the typical criminal people or the redneck low life people or whatever, they insinuate that most people that are purging that aren't the rich upper class are poor blacks and Hispanics. I hope nobody gets offended by this, but it's just true. That's what's represented. And they do end up showing that more as the movie progresses, which isn't. It brings diversity to the film and it's realistic, but there's no middle class. There is no. It's not like there's a vast majority of people purging. It's either you're really poor, or you're really rich. It's the only way that they show it. And then there's a military thing that goes on, and pretty much they stereotype anybody that is a white, middle-aged Republican man or conservative, I'd say, anybody that watches a little too much Fox News or a little too much CNN, as being the ultimate villains of the Purge. Again, it's just a poor use of stereotypes. It's poor plotting, and it's just really, it's dumb and it's overrated. Nothing interesting at all about it. And again, they use the old rich white people, and then the fact then also that they use the group of people that, like I said, were the small group of blacks and Hispanics, that they were pretty much just gathering people up and selling them for money was, it was a cooler, I liked the concept of the Purge being driven by greed, but the fact that they stereotyped pretty much just those two groups in the smaller group, it was not tasteful in my opinion. And then also, I found it blatantly racist. They made the entire, I guess, what is the revolution movement, the Black Panthers, essentially. To me, not only did it look poorly, they made it the leader a really bad Malcolm X with Samuel Jackson lines to read. But the fact that they contradict themselves by saying they're against the Purge, and then all they end up doing is just killing people a part of the Purge. It's just poorly written and poorly representative stereotypes and racial issues. I was offended through some of the film, not just for being a person, but just how awfully uninteresting it was. None of the stereotypes are used in an interesting way. And not saying that they wouldn't do the stereotypes in this film, but it's just some parts of it you just sit there and you have to laugh at. It's just that bad. So this film franchise, in my opinion, is improving on some levels but getting worse in others. To me, I would much rather see the Purge. See, they've always made the Purge as like people just want to kill each other. I would find it much more entertaining that like people are using it as an opportunity to do a bank heist, and then they get caught with purgers or something like that. That would be so much more interesting. There's nothing interesting about this franchise at all. It's a blatant dumb excuse for watching people get blown to pieces. Just not good. This is not going anywhere good. I can't believe it's getting as high ratings as it did on Rotten Tomatoes, because this is just as bad with all the negatives as the original film, if not just a little bit better. The only couple things that make it better is Grillo and the little bit of the different types of purgers, I guess, and the weapons they use, and that it's outside. Besides that, it's horrible. The stereotypes are pretty much unforgivable, how they are represented. And people that see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's literally what you see on the news as far as like a black or rich white people or lower class people stereotypes is exactly what it is. It's shameful and it's poor writing. So shame on you, Jason Blum. You should have made a better film. I can't rate this any more than 2.5 stars. I can't really recommend it. Watch it on DVD if it comes out. Sorry for anybody that wasted their money like me and saw this and was hoping it was going to be a much more vast improvement. But that's pretty much what it is. They had some good ideas that they could have followed on. The fact that people are being driven more by greed in The Purge. Grillo's storyline was much more interesting, but they just weighed it down with dumb characters, and they're trying to make it a smarter movie than it really is. The whole conspiracy stuff is just annoying. So 2.5 stars. I can't recommend it. Quick update too. Halloween Horror Nights is teasing for new updates for new maze or new Scare Zone possibly. Tweets have been sent out and also Snapchat, so there might be announcements sometime tonight, so everyone keep up to date and keep checking on that. Until next time, guys, this is AJ and Shark Door signing out. I hope you enjoyed this little review. Talk to you later. Bye.